welcome my colleague. Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Ever woken up and wondered what your day was going to be like? By show of hands. Ever wondered how your day is going to be shaped because of your hair? By a show of hands. Well, I think there's 2, 3. Oh, even Derek. Good to see. Let me take you back on my story. I have curly hair, as you can see, and I embrace it. It wasn't always the case. Let me go back, way back, when I was a little kid. See, growing up in India, curly hair was common, but at the same time, not so common. People around me had curly hair, but everyone tried to straighten it out, to comb it out, making it look like a grizzly bear. When I was a kid, it was tough. My mom has beautiful, long, black, silky hair. It's straight. My dad, on the other hand, has curly hair like me. But he, like a lot of other people in his generation, would pull down the hair, comb it down with some water and some oil and whatnot, but it would look flat. It would be stuck to his head. So no one around me knew what to do with this hair. And to add to this problem, as a kid, in schools, there used to be the lice problem occasionally. Not every day, but once in a while. Can you imagine the horror of having to get lice out of hair, especially if it was curly? Well, to avoid all of this nuisance, my mom decided I would look like a boy. We call it a boy cut, or we call it a bob cut here. It was short and neat. It was pretty much Vinod's hairstyle, except it was all curly. It was easy. Just comb it up quickly, or you don't, it didn't matter because it would all look the same. Anyway, so I was happy with that hair, it didn't matter. I was a little kid, everything was okay. But as I started to grow up, I decided I had a mind of my own. And so I decided to grow out my hair. I wanted to look a little more curly. In my attempt to grow out hair, while it grew out just fine, I forgot kids around can be really cruel. Everyone around me had straight hair in school, and I was the only oddball with curly hair, and I was awkwardly tall for my age as well. So I stood out like a sore thumb with curly hair. I didn't know what to do. I made desperate attempts to comb out my hair. It was easy in school sometimes because you could just tie it into a French braid or 2 little pigtails. That worked out okay. But what do you do when you can't wear pigtails when you go outside? And so one day, I remember distinctly, my mom was asleep, she was unwell. I pulled out a curler brush and I decided to fix my hair myself. I pulled it in and I started to turn. And before I knew it, it was stuck and there was no way to get it out. I had to wake her up in a desperate attempt to save my hair. She was annoyed and not at all amused. She simply chopped off the hair. That was how things were for a very, very long time. Sometime towards the end of my high school, I went in a hurry to school one day because my hair was still wet and it was nicely curled up. And it took one person to tell me, to make me look at things differently. There was a boy that was very popular in school, a good-looking boy. You know how things go back in high school. He noticed me and said, "Hey, your hair looks so nice." That's it. I decided curly hair was the way to go. I didn't care anymore. I was no longer trying to straighten out my hair, looking like a grizzly monster. I was happy and at peace with my beautiful curls that had a life of their own. Things started to change at this point for me. I went to undergrad school. These were not kids, but these were people that were still me. In India, there is a god man of sorts, Sai Baba, and he has his hair. It really looks like a giant wig. It is that big, and I'm not exaggerating. People were mean. They started calling me that in undergrad school. These were grown men saying things to me, but I didn't care. I was still enjoying my days. I had that dialogue in my head. It was so good to hear that my hair looked so good. I didn't care anymore. And then I moved to US. Here, things changed drastically. It wasn't so uncommon at all for people to have curly hair. It was wonderful. As I was walking down the street, people would stop me and say, I love your hair. We'd speak about it for a good 5 minutes. I'd feel really happy and I'd go back. After moving here, I realized there are very cheap and simple ways to maintain these curls. Granted that when I go on a vacation and it's humid, I will still end up looking like Lion King. But I'm okay with that. Some days my hair can be 5 inches long, although they go all the way to my waist. I'm okay with that too. I've accepted the fact that my hair, they just have a personality of their own. They can look however they want to, and I'm fine with it. Can you imagine how boring it would be if my hair was predictable every morning? What would I do with it? Life would be so mundane and just so predictable. I'm happy with this hair. And that, my friends, is the long and short of it. Mr. Toastmaster.